Hello maths fans! Dr. Tom Crawford here from the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge. Today I'm going to be reacting to one of the most popular maths videos on YouTube, 9 maths riddles that'll stump even your smartest friends, which is from the channel Brightside. I've recorded a few reaction videos before and you all do seem to enjoy them, though I'm yet to work out if that's because I'm showcasing the amazing work of Alan Becker and his team when I reacted to animation versus math. Then it was animation versus physics, and most recently animation versus geometry. So perhaps you just really enjoy Alan Becker's videos and I'm just like the annoying maths dude in the corner. So I just went to the search bar, typed in math, scrolled down through all of the kids content, so many videos with hundreds of millions of views talking about basic manipulations of numbers, counting pairs of numbers. Looked kind of fun, to be honest, but I thought maybe a little bit beneath us on the channel over here. And then I came across this particular video talking about math riddles. I have no idea what to expect. I've probably stalled enough. I'm gonna start watching the video. I guess I will try and answer the riddles if it's going to give me an opportunity to do so, hopefully not embarrass myself, but I'll also, of course, talk through my reaction, my opinion of these questions, and whether or not they are indeed mathematical. Okay, let's do this. Okay, nice little intro. Blackboard.
Oh boy, math riddles that will stump even your smartest friends. You know, math puzzles continue to become more and more popular. They seem very easy at first, but many people end up getting them all wrong. Do you want to test your logic skills?
Do love the blackboard, straight away. Blackboard, man, teacher, video channel, whatever, after my own heart with having the chalk and the blackboard. Hopefully, maybe the riddles are going to appear on the blackboard. That'd be nice. Let's see.
Number 1. Let's start easy.
Here we go.
Take a look at your telephone's number pad and answer this. What number would you get if you multiply all of its numbers? You have some time to count.
Okay, what number would I get if I multiply all the numbers on my phone? So 9 times 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 9 factorial. And then there's a 0, so the answer's going to be 0. I already know where they're going. I hope they're not all like this.
You didn't forget about 0, right?
You didn't forget about 0, right? I mean, fine. I thought we were going to have a potentially interesting question about factorials at the beginning, but then the 0 in the middle just made it way too obvious that we're obviously going to get 0. And there's not enough time there, of course, to work out 9 times 8 times 7 times 6, da 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 da. All right, nice enough, I guess. All right, fine.
Whatever is multiplied by 0 will give you 0. This golden rule of math always works.
Golden rule of math.
Number 2. Find a correct answer to this math equation. 3 plus 3 times 3 minus 3 plus 3.
Oh, God. 3 plus 3 is 6, times 3 is 18, minus 3 is 15, plus 3. So I think it's 8, no, 9, please do 6. I think it's 18. Christ, that was made harder work of that than I should. I think it's 18.
And time is over. If your answer is 12, you're absolutely right. 3 plus 9 is 12.
Oh.
12 minus 3 plus 3.
Oh, no. It's one of them, isn't it? Oh, I hate these so much. I should have known as soon as I saw it. It's going to be one of these. Oh, absolutely awful. Bloody stupid. Only genius can solve problems where it's absolute nonsense. I did mess that up though, so you know, I will accept. It's stressful with that timer. But, so I did get it wrong, but I now realize it's just one of these questions that's talking about the order of operations. So I'm sure you will have seen all of these. They're all over social media and they do my head in, and they do any other mathematician's head in, because people argue about what's the right and the wrong answer. They're all sort of right? As long as you've done the correct operations, right? As long as you haven't made a mistake, then it just depends on the order that you're doing the operations. So if you want to multiply first, or you want to divide first, or you want to do all the additions first, it's kind of up to you, right? It's just a different way of solving the problem. ultimately it's bad notation. One thing about being a mathematician is you want to write up your research, you want to write up your work, your solutions even, if you're doing work at university or at school. You need to make sure what you're setting out, and I do hammer this into my first years, you have to make sure you set out your work in a way that is easy for somebody else to follow. So it's part of your job as a mathematician to choose good notation, to make your work neat, to make it clear, to make it organized. So these kinds of problems are like on purpose. They are not using good notation. So therefore, there's this whole misinterpretation about what's the right and what's the wrong answer. Here I did just mess up because I think the actual rule, I want to say BODMAS is the one I learned at school, though I think PEDMAS is also used, PEDMAS. But I learned BODMAS, BODMAS, which is brackets, orders, which means powers, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So I have messed up, whichever one of them I'm using, because I should have done the multiplication first. So then it's 3 plus the multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9, and then you're adding that first 3. So therefore you're going to get 12. What I did was I added those first 2 3s and then multiplied by 3, which I think is actually just a really nice live lesson of why you should use brackets to emphasize what's happening first. The order you're doing your operations, I guess it is defined if you follow those rules of BODMAS or PEDMAS, but ultimately you should make it very clear to your reader. As a mathematician, make it very, very clear what they are supposed to do first. And if that means splitting up the equation into several lines, that would be my advice. Do it that way. Or like write in words, do the multiplication first, or do this operation first, to help the person reading it understand the problem. It's ultimately bad notation. However, I didn't follow BODMAS. I didn't follow my own rule that I remembered from school. And so yeah, I guess I got that wrong. Whoops. Okay, 1 out of 2. It's not going well, but let's move on.
Still 12. Let's see how you pass our next question. Number 3. What is half of 2 plus 2? Time is ticking.
What is half of 2? Oh God, what is half of 2 is 1 plus 2, or is it Oh God, what do I do first? Division, I think it's 3.
It's not 2, but 3. Half of 2 is 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3.
I'm far too annoyed at this video. I don't think I can continue to watch this video. If all of these questions are just going to be BODMAS, order of operation questions, that's rubbish. Okay, I'm going to say it now. If that's what's coming, I'm not happy. Anyway, what this one was trying to get me to do was, again, it's the same thing, right? And I learnt my lesson from number 2. It is using words rather than symbols, which is okay. But again, it's saying what is half of 2 plus 2. So you could say, right, so if I add 2 and 2, I get 4, and then half of that answer is 2. From my perspective, completely valid answer. However, what they wanted you to do is say, what is half of 2, comma, and then add 2. So you do half of 2 to get 1, and then you add 2. And I just assumed they meant the second one because it's the less obvious one. And according to BODMAS, you do the division first, and by halving 2, you are dividing 2 by 2, which is what I'm sure they're now going to explain to me. But again, I don't like them because it's not maths, it's just bad notation. So anyway, rant over. Now I really hope there aren't any more of these.
Nice and easy. Yeah. Number 4. Just a simple math question for you.
Not riddles.
What is 40 divided by 1/2 plus 15?
40 divided by 1/2 is 80, plus 15 is 95. Yeah, okay.
Dividing by 1/2 is basically multiplying by 2, remember? No, I really don't.
Exactly. Dividing by 1/2, same as multiplying by 2. So that's just testing there, I guess, people's understanding of division by fractions. I don't think this is an order one.
Anyway, so 40 times 2 equals 80. 80 plus 15 is 95. Props to you if you didn't get distracted. Number 5. Yeah. What is 50% divided by 2? You have 15 seconds to prepare your answer.
This is ridiculous. 50% divided by 2. So it could be 20%, but then it's 25% even. But 50% is 0.5 as a decimal. Am I dividing that by 2 to get 0.25? I mean, I want to say 25%
It's actually
is what
just
they want to
one.
tell me.
You have to think outside of the box for this one. 50% is 1/2,
Wait.
right?
It's actually just 1, and you have to think outside of the box. That's what I'm being told. This video is already annoying me. I am regretting deciding to watch this. But anyway, it's a discussion about maths, I guess. I'll allow it. Now, how on earth are they getting 1?
1/2 divided by 1/2
50%
will
is a
give you
half.
1. Did you get it? Well, pull yourself together. The next question is coming.
Okay, all right. I did make an error there. Again, I'll admit this. I was thrown by the wording. I'm clearly not switched on to the wording of these questions yet. I'm not thinking like someone trying to solve riddles. So that's on me. But saying 50% is a half, I mean, that was what I did. But then I made the mistake of saying 50% is 0.5. So then it did say divided by a half, didn't it? I'm going to check. Let me just rewind that for a sec. I'm pretty sure it said 50% divided. No, it said 50% divided by 2. Huh. So they're wrong. They're wrong. It says, what is 50% divided by 2? So their explanation, they're attempting to say here in the explanation that 50% is a half. Yes, that's what I did. In my head, I said it's 0.5. And then they're saying, I'm going to have to rewatch this. Because they're then saying a half divided by a half is 1, but we're not dividing by a half. The question says divided by 2. So half divided by 2 is a quarter, is 0.25, is what I said. So I think I'm correct. And I think they are genuinely got this question wrong. But let me just listen again, watch again their explanation.
You have to think outside of the box for this one. 50% is 1/2, right?
50% is a half.
1/2 divided by 1/2 will give you 1.
We're not
Did you
dividing
get it?
by a half. No, they've messed that up. Okay, I found a mistake in the video. That's a fun development. That is definitely a mistake in the video. It says very explicitly 50% divided by 2. And that's before I get onto the whole, why does 50% have to mean a half? Why does it have to mean 0.5? It can kind of mean 50% of something. You need to tell me what the something is. But anyway, regardless, they've made an error there. So I think I got that right. I think it's actually 0.25 or a quarter. They're talking nonsense. We are dividing by 2 according to that question.
Well, pull yourself together. The next question is coming.
All right,
Number 6. How can you make 1,000 by using 8 exactly 8 times? Keep in mind that you can only use addition in your equation. Try to come up with the answer in 15 seconds.
How can I make 1,000 using 8 exactly 8 times? 8, you can't just add them. 8 times 8 is 64. Times another 8 will get you close. Maybe then I add another one. There's probably a way to do it. I can't do it in 15 seconds.
888 plus 88 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 equals 1,000. Do you have a different but still correct answer?
I mean, sure. Like, there's no way I'm doing that in 15 seconds. So I was thinking more 8 as a specific number. So I suppose I didn't spot that I can put 2 8s next to each other and call that 88. I was saying, 8 times 8 is 64, and then multiplying by 8 again, rather than thinking of 3 8s meaning 888, 888. So I did miss that, fair enough. But even so, like, doing that in 15 seconds is a little bit ridiculous, right? Like, all right, fine. Didn't get that one. I really should be keeping track of how many. I think I've messed up. I messed up the BODMAS one, didn't I? And then I think there's the one that they said I got wrong, but I think I got that right. So I think I've got 4 out of 6 so far. I'm sure you can tell me in the comments, but I think I've got 4 out of 6. I think. But yeah, I'm just not doing that in 15 seconds. Well done if you got that in 15 seconds. That's time limit on that is actually really hard.
Share it in the comments below. Number 7.
Number 7.
Can you take 1 from 19 and leave 20? You have 15 seconds to figure out a way.
Can you take 1 from 19 and leave 20? 19 minus 1? I'm guessing. Take 1 from 19 minus 1 is my guess.
You can easily do it with Roman numerals. 20 is XX, while 19 is XIX. Taking one, I, from XIX,
okay, the answer was Roman numerals.
Will leave a perfect XX.
I mean, naturally, the answer is Roman numerals. It's XX. So they say XIX minus I. But even so, right, I don't like the way they've written this. Again, it's a riddle, I know, fine, I missed it. But I get what they're coming from. So 19 is XIX and 1 is I. So they're saying remove that I from the middle, remove it from the middle, and you're left with XX, which is 20. But then they write it as an equation, XIX minus I. Now that is written as 19 minus 1. So the answer there is still 18, right? Like you don't subtract an I from it. It doesn't mean crossing it out in the number. It's like those things where you do like 9 squared minus 2 and you just cross the 2 and say, oh, look, it's 7 or whatever. Oh, no, 9. You know, like, it's nonsense. It's literally nonsense. But the Roman numeral thing, I'll give them. The way they then write the equation, not sure about that.
We'll leave a perfect XX. I guess this one is X-rated. Oh,
wow.
Number 8.
Wow, that was a joke. I guess this one is X-rated.
Here's your next task.
Number 8.
1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 multiplied by 0 plus 1 equals... Can you solve this?
God.
You have 15
So
seconds.
I have to multiply first. So I've got 10 of them, 11 of them, 12 of them. So I think the answer's 12, provided I do the multiplication first. If I add all of the things together, the answer's 1. But I think 12, if I do the ordering correctly according to Bob Mass.
No, the right answer is not 1, and it's not 12 either. It's actually 2. The first 2 lines aren't part of the equation. So 1 plus 0 plus 1...
Wait. So, I gave the 2 possible answers of it being if you do them in order as they're written, again, bad notation, but do them in order as they're written, then multiply by 0, then there's just a plus 1 at the end. So you could get 1. And it says, that's not the answer. I was then thinking, well, there's 11 ones, then we add a 1 times 0. So if I do BODMAS, I do the multiplication first, so that one doesn't count, so there's 11 of them, plus that last one gives me 12. And now, apparently, they're like, no, that's not the answer, because the first 2 lines were not part of the equation. I mean, the way they were written on the board, they are very clearly part of the equation. So again, it comes back to the earlier questions. You have to, it's bad notation, nothing is clear. They are like purposefully trying to trick you, right? And this is why these problems annoy me, because they, whilst you could argue they generate debate around maths, which is fair enough, you know, it gets people talking about it, big fan of that, definitely on board with that. But ultimately, it's not a maths question. It's trying to trick you by being like, oh, but they're not part of the equation. And then it makes mathematicians and maths look bad. It makes people feel bad about, you know, engaging with a maths problem, and then they feel like they've been made to look stupid. And that is not at all what we're about here. So don't like that one again. Don't really like this video. I'm not quite sure why it has so many views. There are millions of views on this. I mean, I know why, because these are all these, like, you know, viral maths problems, but I feel like I'm just having a rant here for the last 20 minutes. But anyway, this video it's really grinding my gears. All right, well, this is nonsense. They're claiming the last line is the only one that matters. Sure, if we ignore the first 2 lines, then fine, it's 2. Honestly.
You know, I had a math teacher like this. Vicious woman, vicious woman. Number 9. So pay attention. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. Well, can you figure out the last number in the sequence?
Okay, so what are we doing? We've got 1, then we're adding those first two together and adding a 1. Ugh. I mean, with more time, I could figure this out. Do I know what's happening? You're counting the number of 1s?
And the answer is, well, we didn't actually find an answer to this last riddle. Do you have any ideas? Tell us in the comment section below.
There is no answer given.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Very nice comment.
Share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel if you want to stay on the bright side. Until next time.
Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Oh God. Well, sorry to everyone watching this. I feel like I've just shouted at you. I have let my feelings towards these problems transmit through the camera to all of you viewers. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at this video. I don't know, some of them vaguely interesting. I guess some of them kind of had more of a riddle feel to them rather than being maths problems, you know, so fair enough. The 15 seconds was hard, so on a couple of them, right, given more time, could have got to an answer. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of having those kinds of short time limits. I'm not a big fan of having any maths done by timer, to be honest. But in particular, things like that, because it just adds to the pressure and it's meant to be fun, meant to be enjoyable. But anyway, as I've said many times throughout this video, I just don't like this type of problem where it's literally just a question of bad notation and not being clear as to what the rules of the problem are. The key is choose sensible notation, and if something is unclear, it is your job as the mathematician writing your work to explain to your reader how they should approach the problem. So if it's a complicated equation, split it up into smaller pieces or add words to say, do the multiplication first. Just make it clear. It's all about clarity. It's all about good choice of notation. And then there aren't any of these arguments about what the answer could be. Because for most of this type of problem, the answer can be any of them. It just depends on the procedure you have used to solve it. Thank you for watching. I hope it was less painful for you as a viewer than it was for me making this video and enduring the torture of those 9 supposedly math-based riddles. If you can subscribe to the channel, that would be really appreciated. And if you feel in a position that you'd like to donate and support my work, then you can check out the Patreon links all in the video description. I'll see you soon. Take care.